Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing.
Touch my balls, touch my balls.
You got your mic at 75? Okay, no, seriously though, do you have it at 75?
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Okay, that's close enough. Test, 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 1, 2, 1, 2.
Test, touch my balls.
Lick them motherfucking
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
balls.
whoa.
Lift up that sack and lick that taint.
Shit. All right. On that note, let's just start this podcast. Roll that beautiful bean footage. Please put your seats out in your upright position. Put your podcast belts on, and here we go. Unscripted banter with Tyler and Seth. And here we go. And welcome back to another podcast.
That was a really bad intro, by the way.
Oh man, I sound like I came from the radio. Oh yeah, you're not talking about me?
No.
I thought you were talking about
No.
That
The
sounded
actual
horrible.
intro
Like,
before.
Please, Mom and Dad, don't watch this footage. The funny part is that we did one earlier, and it was so funny that we had to recreate it.
I really wanted that first clip, dude, because the first clip was so fucking
but we
good.
weren't
But I
rolling.
forgot to roll on YouTube, so we completely missed it.
Which I guess we're not rolling on YouTube anymore. Like we film it.
Yeah, we film it.
Properly film it.
But that first one
hopefully
turned out
have
pretty
some
good,
good
huh?
tags and stuff. At least tag podcasts. So yeah, you not only can hear our sexy faces, you can listen. Or wait, not only can you hear our sexy voices. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Now you can see that beautiful bean footage.
Can you explain bean footage?
It's from the old commercial, Bush's beans commercial. He always, when they would cut to the beans, he would say, "Roll that beautiful bean footage."
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
it has nothing to do with the bomb I just laid in your bathroom. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with natural poop beans.
I thought you were talking about like a pussy bean.
Oh, you would, you sicko! I'm telling your mother.
God, this
my
podcast
gosh.
is not starting off good, man. That's unfortunate.
That's all right. It's all right.
We're gonna get back on track here, folks.
Alrighty.
Seth, another 2 weeks gone.
Oh man,
No podcast
I am
done.
always enjoying doing a podcast with you every single week.
I've enjoyed it too.
Why'd you have to tell on us? I was gonna
Telling
you
you.
know. I was gonna.
Oh no,
dust
you're not
under
gonna
the
keep
rug
it going. I'm just gonna keep
every
throwing you under the
single
bus.
week. That's a very large bus you like to throw me under.
There's not a bus big enough to throw you under.
I'm pretty sure I won't fit under a bus.
That's
I'm what we would like to call in America a fat person.
Dude, okay. So the intro to the first episode 15, the last one, you talking about you being morbidly obese. Bro, I watched that clip, just that little part, so many times because I was fucking dying, dude. It was so funny, man. I just kept replaying it. I was like, why is this so funny? It was hilarious.
It's always those things that you don't think that are going to be so funny that are funny too.
I fucking loved it. That was good. So what you been up to?
I've been working.
Yeah.
I kind of I missed. I worked a decent amount last week, and then I missed our usual Sunday meal. We all get together on Sundays as a family and all
You
eat
did?
together.
Were you working Sunday?
I slept in because I'd been working so late. Like I was just kind of tired, and I ended up, man, I need to just catch up on some sleep. And I usually, because my issue is, I'll work past midnight. I try to work till 2. I mean, but if I work that late, then I want to go home, eat, and stay up and watch some shows. I don't go home and just go to
Stay
sleep.
up and watch your shows at like a 60 volume. You keep everybody awake.
You know what? I didn't keep any awake. The only reason Sierra knew that was because she went back. She turned the TV on probably today or whatever, and it was at that volume that I turned it off at. Okay. I do not keep her awake. She's all the way down in the dungeon, downstairs.
I did hear you left the oven on again, though.
I did. That's twice now.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're going to burn
Your
the
mom
house
said
down.
strike 2. I'm like,
You're
what
gonna-
the fuck does that mean? What's strike 3? Like, I just find out my shit on the front lawn.
She
I'm
said
like,
you
all
left
right.
it on like
I need to
450,
move.
475.
No, maybe 450. But only for a couple hours.
Dude.
It would have been okay if it was during the winter time.
You gotta check the
It's
oven,
all
man.
I know. I thought I had turned it off that time too. But yeah, now I'm like paranoid, like checking it even when I don't even use it.
Good. It's like a heat bomb. It's going to go off.
I don't. What would it take? I don't think. I mean, ovens just don't explode for leaving them on. Stuff is going to get hot.
but they
You'd have
catch
to have
fire.
something be in there. No, that
It'd
something
catch
would have to
fire.
be in there. Something would have to fall in there.
No,
Oh, YouTube it. You don't know.
it'd catch fire,
freaking,
man.
Freaking millennials don't know what the fuck they're talking
Millennial?
about. Yeah, you heard me.
Seth, isn't it your birthday today?
Not yet.
Your birthday tomorrow?
I forgot. I seriously thought I was going to be 37 and I was only going to be 36.
You're older than you. You're not as old as
Yeah,
you
I'm
think
not
you
as
are.
old as I thought. That feels good.
That's good.
Feels fantastic.
You're still old as shit, though.
Fucking tell me about it.
Your
man.
life's almost half over.
Yeah.
What do you got to show
yeah.
for it? List them right now, top 5. What do you got to show for it?
This dumb podcast.
It's not even going anywhere.
Yay! What have I? Come on now. Hey, I've bought some properties.
Yeah.
I've got to travel quite a bit. There's still a lot I'd like to do.
What do you
want
wanna
to
do
gotta
still?
get out. I still want to travel quite a bit and
What do you want to
see
see?
the world. You know,
What do you want to see?
I would love. What do I want to see?
Yeah. If I gave you a plane ticket right now, Seth, you got a plane ticket to anywhere in the world, expenses paid. Where do you want to go?
Good question. Bottom of the ocean.
You can't take a
Uncharted.
fucking plane to the bottom of the ocean.
You want to bet?
Maybe if you're the pilot.
I guess somewhere on a beach would be nice. So
Why does everybody want to go to a beach?
or like it's just I do have a big interest in just backpacking across Europe.
Yeah.
Like I would love to. I need it because I don't know anybody else that would backpack really. So I don't know. I got to get hooked up with some kind of like backpacking group or something. Like I'd like to get together with at least a few people and like be able to just backpack. Just
Do you think you could
Take-
handle it?
huh?
You think you
Oh
could
yeah,
handle
for
it?
sure, for sure. I would love to even just like do a trail, like camp out
Yeah.
and go. Like it might be a little tough at first, but just man, the silence of it all, away from just
Away from all of this shit.
from cell phones and all that. Of course, the crazy part is you probably still get cell phone service at some areas, but yeah, do the Appalachian Trail or something. That would just be so awesome.
I watched a little documentary on YouTube about the Appalachian Trail because I was
Really?
curious,
Yeah.
and I didn't know. I
You'll
didn't.
have
I
to
guess I
send
didn't.
that. You'll have to send that to me. I would
I'll
be
show-
very
I'll show you.
interested. Yeah.
But I didn't realize how fucking long it is, man.
Yeah,
It's a
man.
long ass trail. It's like 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And it was this father and his son. They were like the main focal point of this documentary, and they were just following them on this trail, and they were showing all the different people that they met and all the different experiences that they had, and it was really kind of like a journey to find themselves out on the trail, pretty much like your typical backpacking hiking story. But fuck, man, I guess I didn't realize how difficult it would be to hike 1,000 miles. Like, you got to think they're hiking 15 miles a day, 20 miles a day. There's no like, okay, like when I go hiking, I go hike like 10 miles, and then I get home, I take a shower, I lay in my bed, and I feel good. But this is like 20 miles, tent, 20 miles, tent, 20 miles, tent. It's no like, there's no escape from nature after your hike. You know what I'm saying? There's no like real comfort because you're in a tent, and it took them 6 months to hike the whole trail. That's fucking crazy. You still want to do it? Yeah,
It'd be awesome.
it'd be difficult.
Definitely lose some weight.
They said,
I won't have to take as much food with me because I'll be able to live off my gut for a while.
but they said you would think that exerting that much physical energy, you would want to eat healthy to stay, motivated and to stay like energized. But they said it gets to a point on the trail where you will eat anything. It like you will eat unhealthy food. You'll eat like
Well, you're gonna burn all the calories anyways.
Yep, you'll eat anything that you can physically eat. You'll eat it, whether it's healthy or not. And
Yeah.
you would think that you would want to eat healthy, but no matter what, you're just gonna eat everything because you
Even that booty.
even that booty.
Now, to
dirty
answer,
booty.
you asked a good question. Like, what have you accomplished in your life? And I think also what I want to accomplish. I mean, kind of. I'm officially selling my condo, which I'm gonna take that money and invest. I close on the 8th.
Yeah.
The 8th or 9th. And I'm
Congratulations.
gonna bring that money and I'm gonna try to buy a property or two in the Toledo area, the really kind of inexpensive there, and I would like to get more and more residual income where I'd like to just travel.
Yeah.
And I'd like to I would love to help like fund an orphanage or something. The girl I took, I don't know, there was a girl I took to prom my 11th grade year, and she's like has her own orphanage out in Africa.
Holy shit! In Africa?
So, yeah, one of the countries in Africa. And I thought
that doesn't make you feel less accomplished, does it?
I mean, I don't think it's good to compare ourselves. Well, I mean, unless it pushes you, you never want it to push you down. But I mean, but then again, it's okay to get pushed down if it helps motivate you too, though. But
yeah,
you don't.
I guess.
I mean, you never want to get to it, especially with my anxiety. I don't want to look down on myself, but I definitely. Well, too, I gotta be careful with myself not to put myself in too stressful of a situation because my anxiety can spike pretty good. But yeah, I definitely want to accomplish more for my life, and I feel like I've only lived. Hey, if I live to be 120, I'm only at like a little over a fourth of the way there.
Yeah.
Especially in our family, when you live forever. In this day and age, people are living longer and longer.
I hate how old we live, man. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it. Because I know we live long.
Oh, you'll have a heart attack going for some walk or something. You'll be fine. You'll die young.
A heart attack on a walk?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a good way to go? Taking a beautiful picture of a sunset. Like, oh, I'm coming for you. Bethel. That's going to be your wife
Bethel?
someday. Yeah, Bethel is your wife.
Fuck, man. Bethel better be hot.
Bethel. Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's got to compensate for that ugly name.
I just call her Beth or Bethany. Bethany. I like Bethany. There you go.
Bethel. That sounds like a very ugly name.
It does. I can just picture an ogre. Or a girl version of you. But I'm sorry, I just farted. Can you smell that?
So, no, I can't. I can taste it.
Bro, it's bad. Oh my god.
No, I didn't smell it. I was joking. I didn't smell it at all.
It's bad.
Gosh, the
Sorry.
worst. There was some cheese on that pasta today.
There was cheese. I had a couple things of cheese, but coffee, dude,
Yeah,
it makes
does
me
it for
fart
you?
bad. I feel bad for
just
my
fart
employees because I
easily.
drink 4 cups of coffee before I get to work, and then I get there and I'm like, when I'm walking up and down the line, I'm crop dusting.
I had did I ever mention that Uber? I had somebody get in the back of my Uber last week.
Yeah.
And I hate when people put the fucking windows down. For one thing, it drops my miles per hour.
Okay, but how much?
Not that much. But that doesn't bother me as much as the fucking that ear noise.
There's a weird. But it's not all the time.
Only when I hit 40. I didn't know exactly when it fucking is. Right when I hit 40.
But it always seems like when the windows are down, it creates a certain like aerodynamic flow.
You might want to open your mouth, so you're gonna be eating a lot of fart right now from yourself.
What are you talking about?
You're gonna be eating your own fart. You're opening your mouth really wide, and that fart's probably just going right in there. All the butt particles.
Anyways, yes, I hate the fum 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 fum.
Yeah. Fucking hate that shit.
And wait, do they not realize that it's happening and then just keep it down?
I swear, I guess they don't. But then I realized that there was a smell. It's like, that's why he has the window down.
I got you.
This motherfucker had just gotten my vehicle too. It was like, you could have waited 5 more seconds outside the vehicle and farted. Or who knows, he probably farted and just followed him in.
Maybe.
It does that suction where it follows you out the...
Yeah, no, it's got that pocket of
But
air.
I knew exactly, it was a bad fart.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to... No, I didn't. No, I'm a very nice, cordial Uber driver.
Can I ask why?
Huh?
Why are you nice to people?
Well, for one thing, I get tips. And I do pretty decent with tips. So depending on, I swear, I probably got, week before last, I probably got, just in cash, well over $50 in cash.
So what is the worst Uber situation that you've had to deal with?
I've been very blessed, and I haven't had any bad issues. Just bad hygiene. Somebody that was going to light up a cigarette, and I just slammed on the brakes right away. I was like, no.
Oh, I think I remember you saying something about that.
And then, this bad guy hygiene, just some people can just be a little bit annoying. But the thing is, I just watch that minutes tick down to their destination, and then they're out of my vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to
It's
be an
been
Uber
pretty chill.
driver.
I enjoy it. I mean, for now, I like it more when I have more properties and.
See, I guess
Can
my
do
thing
this.
is though, like if I owned a vehicle, like Uber drivers use their own vehicles.
Mhm.
I'm super particular and clean
Well,
with
it
my
would be
vehicle.
good for you to have a separate vehicle then.
Yeah,
to do
see, and that's
yours,
just that's a hassle. It's a real hassle. And I
Which
don't
is
like
easy
people,
money,
so
too.
I,
Well, Uber Eats is fun too, and that you just deliver. You're not going to get as much business, but people still do pretty well. Then you don't even have to have a 4-door vehicle with those.
yeah, it's true. You're just a delivery man.
I wonder if your vehicle would be okay. Technically, it has 4 doors, but I don't know if it's big enough or not.
Technically, it's only like 2.5. Or not 2.5.
Oh yeah, it might not be. You have to have 4 doors.
No,
'cause
I
you
think
only
they would
have
call.
3.
I think they would call it a 3-door.
Mhm.
Because 2 doors and then the 2 side ones
Yeah.
would equal 1, so it would be a 3-door truck. I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
So, do you like this nice surprise that your cousin's back in town from Army?
Dude, okay, so the first time she came and surprised me, I was really happy.
Mm-hmm.
I was very excited to see her.
You seem very annoyed this time.
But this time, I was like, "What the fuck, guys?" Because so we had a fire at my uncle's house, your cousin's house,
Mm-hmm.
and I got there, and I could tell like when I pulled up, Sierra came out to greet me, and I'm thinking, "Why the fuck is she out here?" I said, "What's up?" And she goes, "I just wanted to let you know that we're in the backyard." And immediately, I'm like, "I know you guys are in the backyard. We're having a fire." And immediately I felt like something was off there because she was like keeping me in the truck for a second. And then I walked out and I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I walk in through the backyard and I see everybody and I sit down and like it was normal. And then I see Evelyn walk into the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew the moment I saw her, I knew exactly who it was. And I felt everybody around me and I could tell by the situation I was the only one that didn't know. Because I looked at her, and then I looked at everybody else, and I thought, "Great, this is me. I'm the only one that doesn't know." I wasn't like legitimately pissed off, but I hated being that one person that didn't know.
I was supposed to not know either, but it got once again.
How did
it
you
got
think? How'd you
freaking
find
ruined for
out?
me. We were all like literally less than 30 minutes literally like less than an hour before that. It got ruined for me.
How did it get ruined
We
for
were
you?
all in the kitchen, and then like your mom said something, Scott said something, like, and then that ruined it. And then Sierra tried to cover it up. She played. She'll be here on the Wednesday. She'll be here Wednesday, which was when the correct time she was going to be coming.
Yeah.
Because that was the day after my birthday.
And that's what pissed me off.
I was like, oh.
Is I asked Sierra about it that day, like 2 hours before we went there. I said,
Right.
"Dude, I can't wait for Evelyn to come home." I said, "When does she
It's
come
scary
home?"
how good of a liar she is.
Yeah, and she reminded me. She's like, "Dude, I know, I can't wait." And I'm like, "I know." And then that happened, and I'm like, "Fuck
She's
you."
like, dumbass.
Yeah. But I'm glad she's home, and it's awesome that she gets to
it's
spend
cool.
a lot of time with
In
us.
fact, we're gonna head out and hang out with her after this.
Yeah, that should be fun.
So.
I'm excited though. I got a lot planned
Yeah.
that I really want to do with her. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to take her hiking. I want to go
Oh, cool.
camping. You can come with us if you want.
Yeah, I do. I'd love to. I really enjoyed that last hike, minus the jeans. You'll have to let me know. So I gotta go get me walking shoes. I definitely can't
Yeah,
use
you do.
these.
Don't use those.
I gotta get some good quality too.
Mhm.
Good quality walking shoes. So,
Yeah, but I'm
definitely-
feeling another really long hike here soon. It's been a while. I've been doing a lot of photography, man. I haven't
Yeah, you
done.
had some good pictures.
Yeah, I haven't done anything during my day.
Yeah, this is a good time to play. What is your Instagram?
Instagram TLuns5. Follow me on Instagram. That's my
Yeah.
Twitter too. But
And if you want a very more inferior picture taking, you can check out mine at Seth Holmes.
right.
Or mine might be Seth Andrew.
It's Seth Andrew 07.
Seth Andrew 07.
Yeah, but that's literally all I've been doing, man. I haven't had time for anything else. Just taking photos and editing. I've done a lot of photo shoots. I think I've done 3 or 4 photo shoots in the past 2 weeks, and then I'm doing one tomorrow with my little sister Kirsten, who is not really little anymore, but I got one with her, so that should be
How old
fun.
is she?
She is 14.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, fucking young woman now, man. It sucks. She's beautiful.
That's going to be like fun / really like, damn it, you're growing up.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So,
Yeah,
but it should be fun.
man.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen.
I know
her,
it's
so.
14. You get that 14, 16 where they look like they're freaking 20.
Yeah,
like,
dude, it's
scary.
annoying. And then like all of my sisters on my dad's side, they're gonna be fucking beautiful. So my dad's got his work
That's
cut out
even
for him.
worse. Yeah. Your poor dad.
I've had conversations with my dad. I'm like, I looked at him like we were at a birthday party, and I was just like sitting next to him, and I looked over at him. I said, we were looking at all three of my sisters, and I said, you do realize this is going to be an issue, right? He's like, yeah, I fucking know. I was like, you're going to have to keep an eye on them.
You know, that's
like,
a good
yeah,
reason to marry an ugly woman. That's
you don't
a
have to
good
worry about
reason.
them. It's a good reason not
And
to
then
have
you
daughters,
all have
man.
boys. Then you all have boys. Like,
Yeah,
damn
I
it,
would-
married an ugly one for no reason.
Like, if I ever have kids, I would definitely choose to have sons, because I can't just
I
imagine
would
the
like. I
stress
mean,
a
I've
daughter
always
would
been.
cause.
I had a brother, and then growing up in the boys' home, I mean, I had all brothers, and so I kind of would like to have a little girl.
Really?
But, yeah.
I guess there's something special about that father-daughter relationship.
Mm-hmm.
There's something really special about it. Do you think you'd be a good father?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Why?
For one thing, I would make sure I'd have plenty of time to be around.
And you would, with your current
Yeah.
situation, like with work
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I'll
you
be
would
able
have
to
plenty
take
of
off
time.
any time. Well, by the time I have kids now too, I mean, I'm gonna have more properties
You
and
see,
like,
hey, you see this really quick? It's fucking black coffee.
yeah, you're gonna need some black coffee. Hey,
Black.
you know what? That really doesn't help you look help you be any more of a man. You're still like a little boy.
Do you like my rolled up pants?
That's cute. I mean, I was really hoping that joke about. I was practicing that earlier too.
What?
I was hoping to have that roll off my tongue so much smoother, and that fucking bombed as bad as my dad joke earlier today.
What was your dad joke?
I made it was like, why the cameraman won't help him? You
Oh,
and Sierra, you and
I was
Sierra were
fucking
like,
done with you at this point, dude.
man, you and Sierra were literally fucking rattlesnakes, like curled up, ready to fucking just reach out and bite me, like at the points, because literally I barely got the joke out, and both y'all said that was fucking horrible. That was horrible.
I think you, her, and I have the same kind of humor.
Oh, yeah.
I think when all three of us are together, we all kind of like telepathically look at each other in different ways. We all have the same humor. It's great.
We do.
We need
Oh,
to have her on the
Sarah,
podcast, like officially.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Oh,
Speaking of people on the podcast, I have. I want to get her on. I want to get Evelyn on before she leaves, and then I've got 2 coworkers. Well, one's a coworker. One used to be a coworker. Want to go on? They actually listen to us,
oh really? That's
and
awesome.
they've been spreading it out.
Oh good.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
one of them is a musician. His name's Ron Burchell. He plays local bars and stuff. He's really fucking good. He's got a great voice. And then another one, his name's Damon. He used to be a fellow manager of mine, and he's an interesting character. I would love to have him on. He'd have some good conversation.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I've
I've
got guests lined up.
I've been thinking about who would be really cool to have on, and it's somebody you know. It would be awesome to have your old friend Tyler on at some point.
That would be interesting. Yeah,
That
we
would
should
be
definitely-
crazy.
That would be
I wonder
pretty
if
cool.
he would do it.
Hear about
I know
some
he
Big
doesn't
Brother
live here
experiences.
anymore, but yeah. So Tyler's friend from high school
Yeah,
is on Big Brother right now.
yeah.
And he's doing pretty good.
doing
I'm
fantastic.
still a few episodes. I decided it was like I probably should go to bed since I have to get up earlier today, because I'm like on episode 7 or something, and there's like
Yeah.
or 8. I think it is episode 11.
Yeah, something like that.
So so he's doing really well, but that would just be so cool.
Just to hear
interview
some
him.
experiences.
He would definitely be our most famous person on the podcast.
But that's not why I want him on the podcast.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
he's a friend of yours. You went on high school.
Honestly,
So that
I
would be-
really would like to get all of my high school buddies up here for their own individual podcast with us if they were interested. I haven't really spoken with them in a few months now.
Some juicy details.
Some juicy,
Perfect. You sure you want to do that?
juicy. Oh, on me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably not the best part. But like, I would love to get them up here.
As long as they drink, I'm good. I would just give.
Oh no, it would definitely be a drinking night. We would be doing shots the whole night. Absolutely.
Oh, that would be awesome.
But
that would be awesome.
I want to get you up here. That way we can come up with like
I know.
studio,
because
because-
I still have not moved.
Because if we do the third person, the setup won't work.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We need a different kind of setup.
I know. I've gone over. I try and decide like in my head, I think that's part of the issue too. Like, I don't know exactly how I want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's like stumped me from moving here. But I've gotten too comfortable living up in Rossford.
Fuck yeah,
I
you
just
have.
said where I lived.
That's all right.
I get
don't
hunted
live there,
down,
I
get
don't care.
murdered.
I don't care. I don't live there. I'm surprised we haven't name dropped where we're at. I think we have actually.
We might have started saying the city. I guess we're probably being extra cautious. It's probably not a big deal, but
It's really not. Nobody knows where I live. I think there's only. Hang on. Let me think here for a second. There's one. There's
3267 Harbor Lane.
Shut the fuck up. No. I think there's only one person, nope, two people that I went to high school with that actually know and have been where I live.
You know, there's so many people that you can tell you like without thinking they're even that famous, like or out are well known, like where people have just showed up at their door.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that happens.
Yeah.
It's there's some crazy people out there. I would fucking love it though. I would feel like, holy shit, somebody that watches you listen to our podcast.
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have any listeners.
What's that?
I wouldn't be surprised if we have any listeners.
You'd be surprised
I wouldn't be surprised
if we had any listeners.
if we had 0 listeners.
But you just said a couple of your coworkers. They're
Maybe
probably
they-
just throwing you a bone.
Yeah, maybe.
Trying to get a fucking raise.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
listen
listen to your
to it. I
podcast.
listen to it.
You and Jeff, right? Dude.
Actually, okay, so that's definitely a lie though, because I know Ron listened to it because we actually talked
Did
about.
you give him a quiz?
No, I
It's a
didn't quiz him. But he brought up points that we talked about like throughout the podcast. I was like, oh, this motherfucker sit and listen to it. And he talked about, or he liked the anxiety talk that you gave about your anxiety and how
really?
just kind of sitting and talking with somebody can help you figure out your own
Yeah.
problems. You just
Yeah.
need yeses and nods and stuff. He said he loved
Yeah.
that shit. He said that was really
That's good.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. I've started listening to a newer podcaster. I probably should say his name since I'm going to talk about it.
Shout
Where's
out
my
your
cell
phone's right
phone?
here.
Oh shit. He played Lex Luthor from, and you know what?
Don't be like my sister. She'll say, "Hang on, I got to show you something," and then it
Well,
takes her
I
5
realized that
minutes
I-
to find it.
Well, remember how did I tell you that? No, yeah. Remember how I showed up that podcast, how much room podcasts were taking?
Oh, yeah, how
So
much-
I just deleted podcasts completely off
Okay, I
of
got
there.
you.
But I could just. So yeah, he plays Lex Luthor on the Smallville series, or
Okay.
what used to be.
So he's got his own podcast now.
And now he has his own podcast.
Is it just him?
Yeah, it's just him. I mean, he has a producer that is on there with him usually, and then he always interviews somebody.
Yeah.
But his producer barely says anything. He basically talks some shit to him every once in a while. It's pretty funny. But it's funny because, man, he's a really good actor. Because you wouldn't know it, but
Let
he's
me
a
see him.
fucking
Let me see what he
comedian.
looks like. I forget what he looks like.
Michael Rosenbaum.
Hang on, I gotta.
But he looks completely different because he's bald on the show. I mean, and that's the character everybody. It always throws off
Okay.
everybody because everybody knows him from. But I think he has done even some stand up comedy and stuff. But he's what?
What are you reading over there?
Act producer known for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. What did he do in? I didn't know he had anything to do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did he produce it behind the scenes?
Martin X. Oh, maybe he was. I think he was one of the guys all makeuped up in that group or something. Maybe I do not remember him being. What is that supposed to be him? Sorry, everybody. I just got completely I didn't realize that he had anything to do with Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research there. That's just throwing me for a loop. But yeah, so he deals with anxiety,
Okay.
and he usually always talks with guests that come on about it. And the funny part is it just hear him I was like, oh, I really don't want to listen to this because it almost gives me fucking anxiety
Just to think about it.
hearing people talk about it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. And it's weird. It can trigger your anxiety
Because
in a way, thinking about it.
you're empathizing a little bit with what they're talking about, so
Yeah.
you're instantly feeling what. Oh God, excuse me.
But
You're feeling what they're talking about.
it's so many people deal with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy, and I feel like it's becoming a more common thing. Like, man, we've been able to conquer all these sickness, diseases, and even AIDS is HIV has been able to be controlled pretty good now with medicine.
Like it's not a killer like it used to be.
No, it's crazy. It's just a miracle of science with medical science, but I think the thing that's spiked more than anything is mental illness, and I would definitely say it is part of mental illness and anxiety. My mom dealt a lot with stress and anxiety, and I feel like we kind of quickly bump heads just because our personalities are alike.
Your mom is an interesting woman.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that is something that's even more common nowadays. In fact, I think a lot of that can deal with not that. I guess just mental illness, not anxiety. Anxiety doesn't have anything to do with it. Just mental illness is so much worse. I think because that's what I think we can blame a lot for shootings. School shootings and that kind of stuff.
See, a lot of
that comes back to mental illness. A lot of these
school shootings and a lot of the mass shootings in general, they've done toxicology reports and toxicology labs on the individuals. They were all in some form on prescription medications. They were on, I couldn't name them all off, but they were all under some kind of prescription medication for some kind of mental illness. Every single one of them.
So yeah, definitely it's definitely something that's gotten worse, but that's a whole.
I guess that kind of changes the gun talk. People like to say that guns kill people. Well, is it guns killing people or is it our prescription medication killing people?
Well, yeah, I know that's the first thing that spiked too, but I mean, I feel like too maybe there's mental illness. Is it the issue is that the medication, or is it that they had mental illness anyway?
Or is it just too
the
easy
medication
to get guns?
Isn't just not doing well enough? I think it's definitely there's a mental illness issue, and it's gotten worse, and it could have something to do connected with the foods we eat, with all the different
processed shit
pesticides
that we
and processed and stuff.
Absolutely.
I think because it's definitely spiked, and I would say a big reason that gun shootings have spiked is because mental illness has even spiked. I think that's part of it. I'm not a professional, but that's just kind of my.
Yeah, no, I want to make everything clear. We're not professionals. We have no fucking
we
idea
might
what
be
we're talking
smart
about.
as fuck.
No, we have.
But
for any of our listeners or viewers, we have no idea what we're talking about. We're just riffing.
Make no. Refer back to the intro.
Yes. If you want to know our level of intelligence, listen to the intro, okay?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's not the kind of intros that we normally do. It's just something. Okay, let's go back to this for a second. Before we start recording, we'll always do just like a little quick 15, 30-second test run of the mics because I like shit to be perfect, so I'll always test them a couple times. And usually it's just like quick little banter, but for some reason we went just way off the deep end with this one, and I actually liked it, so... You liked it though, right?
Yeah, it was funny.
It was pretty good.
It was funny. I felt like maybe it was like, usually we like slowly
build into the
weird, dirty shit, but we kind of just jumped in head first on that one.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Actually, I don't.
Probably your sick mind. That's all it was. Just your
bad one, man.
I mean, all I was talking about like my balls, and you just took it to the next level, like.
I did. I took that way too far. If you guys could listen to the original one, I don't know. I blacked out.
I think you basically mostly said the same thing.
It was close.
Drink your black coffee.
It was close. I'm finishing up this coffee.
Drink your black coffee.
Finishing this shit up. Dude, so I've been watching this series on Netflix called Frozen Planet. Have you ever watched it?
Next subject.
No. I'm just kidding. Have you ever seen Frozen Planet?
I realized that and fucked with you like in 5 minutes. Frozen Planet.
Fuck you.
That's called the North Pole.
It's a series about both of the poles, the Arctic and the Antarctic. Dude, I wasn't even remotely intoxicated or high when I watched this. Blew my mind. Blew my fucking mind, dude. To see these National Geographic like photographers and cinematographers capturing some of this shit. It's fucking wild, dude. And it made me think I would certainly be interested in being a photographer for like a TV series like that.
You might want to calm that boner down before you take some pictures.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, it got me so pumped just watching some of the shit that they were capturing. Like, okay, so this...
Are you in the wrong profession? You need to go grab your ticket. Hey, we could probably charter a boat and head up there.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, dude. See, the weird thing is with me. Okay, so when I asked you, what's the one place that you want to go to, like right now? What would be your one place? The first place you kind of thought about was a beach, right? Mm-hmm. Sandy beaches, warm weather, naked chicks everywhere. Like, that's awesome. The first place I think about when somewhere that I want to go to, like, the poles. I want to go to Iceland. I want to go to Greenland. I want to go to, like, some extreme freezing temperature weathers because for some reason that interests me more than, like, Caribbean life. And on this series, they were there's a few animals that they were following, different animals. They followed penguins, polar bears, and killer whales and seals. And they added some nature in there. But at this one point, they were showing a team of orcas. What were they hunting? It was a sea lion. I think they hunt sea lion or seals or something like that. They were hunting a sea lion. And it was on like a little patch of ice, a really small iceberg, and it was showing them hunt in a pack. And I know we were watching Shark Week a little bit today, and we could see how they were hunting. And what they would do is they would swim up in a line and create waves and knock seals off of icebergs. And after they would knock it off the iceberg,
fucking like bowling and
dude, they toy with it. It was crazy to see. So they would knock it off this iceberg with these gigantic waves that they would make, and then after they knock it off, what they would do is they would swim from opposite directions at the seal and do like really quick swim bys and whip their tails to create a vortex under the water to disorient the seal, to make it completely discombobulated underwater, has no fucking idea what's going on, and then the whales start picking at it. And at one point, the seal got back halfway onto the iceberg.
Wait, this is the whales doing this?
This is the whales. This is the orcas doing it to it, the killer whales. And it got
killer
and
whales,
and it got back up onto the iceberg about halfway, and its tail was still sticking out. And it got to the point where the whales knew that they already got it, and they started toying with it. So they started like poking at the iceberg, and they were literally toying with the seal, just kind of knocking it off, and the seal would get back on, and they would bump it a little bit, and then the iceberg would tip over, and they toyed with it.
Motherfucking bullies.
It was crazy to fucking see, man. And then they finally, what they do is they would drown it. So they would grab its tail, and then they would just fucking sink it down to the bottom of the ocean. It was the most craziest thing I've ever seen, dude. And it was...
That's crazy. I gotta see that. Where do you see that on?
Frozen Planet.
On Netflix?
Netflix. It was cool. Fucking wild to see, man. And the cinematography and the slow motion was beautiful. And then there was something... I'm talking a lot about this, but I fucking love this shit, dude.
No, that's cool. I guess I can just click on your... we all are logged onto the same Netflix. I guess I just click over
you can see them, like, continue watching.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
is it like a series, or is it like one whole movie?
No, it's a series. I think it's like 6 episodes and different. What they did was they started in like spring. So they did springtime in the poles, what it was like. Then they did summer. Then they did kind of like a fall and winter mix, because it's not much of a difference. But then there was another one where they were following polar bears. Polar bears are fucking terrifying. They're the only animal that actively hunts humans.
Fuck.
Yes.
And to think, I just thought they drank Coca-Cola.
They do not drink Coca-Cola. They're the only animal in the world that actively will hunt humans. They only eat meat, and they will eat any meat. And I know there was just a story recently about a father protecting his children from a polar bear, and like the polar bear ate him in front of the children. There's terrible, terrible story. But I don't know all the details on it. So anyways, they were following this polar bear. And what polar bear do during the wintertime is they live on the ocean, because the ocean freezes over, and it doubles the size of the Arctics when it freezes. So they actually live on the ocean during the wintertime. And all they do is search for a female. So this male found a female, and they started mating. Disclaimer, they show it. But so after they mate, they become like a pair for the winter. And the male polar bear is supposed to protect the female throughout the rest of the winter. And they will, try to have a child. They'll try to have a bear cub throughout the winter. And he has to protect her. And they said that a polar bear will have to protect his female on an average of once every couple hours. So he has to fight another male bear at one time every couple hours. And they would literally fight to the point where the fur on him was not white, it was red. And he would do this all winter. And by the end of the winter, it showed this same bear. and he was limping. He could barely move, but he was still following the female. And this dude was fucked up. He was gonna have a long time recovering, and the female was fine. And then after the winter ends, they both depart ways, and then they never see each other again, and he never sees his cubs. But the fucking male has to protect the female all winter to the point where he could potentially die. And if he dies, he dies.
And this has been another 30 minutes of Tyler talking about animals in the danger zone. Join us next week as a cougar rips the face off of a man.
I love this shit, though. It's interesting.
No, that's really
man.
interesting. That's good shit.
It's interesting. It makes me want to do it.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go film that shit.
Just makes me want to make fun of you for it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm really interested in that stuff.
That's cool.
There was another...
Yeah. I do know somebody up in Alaska.
Do you really?
I think he's working on we're Snapchat friends, so, and we've chatted back and forth just a little bit, but he was up there, I think, working on a fish boat or something like that.
No shit.
So that would be pretty cool
Hook
to
me
go
up
up there.
I'm going up there.
And you know what? I don't know if she went back or not. There was this girl that I was talking to a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of date. Well, we were just kind of hanging out and talking, but I met her in Arkansas, and she was from Alaska or whatever, and she had gone back to Alaska, and she was wanting to hang out with me when she came back, but I had already moved away or whatever. I had just moved away, but I don't know. I'm curious what she has to say about Alaska.
Would you go up there with me?
That'd be awesome. I would
be
totally
prepared
go.
for that?
That'd be awesome.
Do you like the
I'm
cold
not.
weather?
I don't know about being the shark bait, but
Well, no. I don't want to swim with
dude,
sharks.
as long as I have layers and some hot chocolate at some point to
Yeah.
warm up, as long as there's like a goal at the end, I will be warm at some point. I'm okay.
Like,
So
I know that I want to get up there, and I got to do it, man.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Just got to do it. My main goal is to see the Aurora Borealis. Like, that's my main fucking goal up there.
There's cruises up to 7-day cruises straight up there too, but I don't know if because you're probably gonna want to go when it's even more colder and there's more active probably. So I don't know. I mean, that'd be some research to get into, but I know probably the easiest way would be able to fly or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that would be crazy. Like taking a bus up there and be able to see everything as you head up. Like
That'd be
just
pretty cool.
That would be crazy.
I
That'd
did.
be so inexpensive too. Buses trips are so cheap.
I watched this one. I forget the name of it.
I definitely wouldn't want to be in charge of driving up there.
No, me either. Absolutely. Okay, speaking of that, on this one that I was watching, it was this group of like 20, 30-year-old guys. There was 5 of them, and they were surfers. And what they would do is they surfed with these photographers, and these photographers were wanting like really specific shots. So they wanted this one of guys surfing they were somewhere up in Sweden, I think. Super snowy weather with the Aurora Borealis going on in the background, and they wanted to capture this photo. So they would put their wetsuits on and surf in like minus 50-degree water temperatures, freezing water temperatures. And these dudes were driving through these snowstorms, and it made us as Ohioans look like bitches driving through the snow, because I'm talking a foot of snow and they're trekking through the snow. And it made me realize that I'm not a very good driver in the snow, because these dudes were professionals. But these guys were surfing in the Arctic under the Aurora Borealis at night. I've never seen a more beautiful image, dude. I wish I knew how to surf, because I would do
What
that
is the
shit.
Aurora Borealis like? Is that the light thing?
Yeah, the Northern Lights.
Okay.
Yeah, the Northern Lights.
So you do a lot of blues and greens, right?
Blues, greens, purples, yellows. I want to see that shit, man. I don't know.
That'd be amazing.
I just have a draw to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, kick-ass Instagram.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's immediately going on Instagram.
I know, we got to start with something, man. Like, just to get the ball rolling, we need to do like some kind of like weekend trip or something, man. Just take you're always just off on Sundays and Mondays, so just go sometime.
I do need to
head up somewhere. I mean, even we can go up to Alaska for the day or something, or
I need to plan my
cool.
vacation days. I want to get them planned out, because I need to go. I know it's not on my list, but I got my list up there of things that I wanted to do this year.
Oh, 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
That's cool.
I've got.
It's good. That's good.
It was. What did I
always say
have?
that's a good thing to do. Make lists and have
And
a board. And
I
stuff.
put it right in front of my desk, and I'm there every single day. Get a deer. I want to get a deer this year. 6 different states. I want to adventure in 6 different states. One of them was spend more time with the people I love. And there was one more I
No,
can't
you
read.
can skip that one.
I spent a lot of time with family
You
this
do,
summer, man. I've
I
spent
know. This
a
is
lot
the
of
most
time.
I've spent with family.
This is the most I've spent with family this summer. I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, dude. I mean, I never lived close to so much family, so this
Isn't
has
it
been
fucking
crazy
great?
for me.
I'm appreciating it while it's here because I know it's not going to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird to think that I'm going to have my own family and I'm going to have my own kids and they're going to have their kids and they're going to have their cousins. And at some point, they're not going to know who Jocelyn is. You know, they're not going to know who my mom is. They're not going to know who Nan and Poop are. They're not going to know what Sundays are like over at our grandparents.
Who are those people?
Yeah, they'll have no fucking they'll have no idea, and
Well,
I will
hopefully they will. Hopefully we keep that shit going.
hopefully, but like I know at some point I'm gonna be like Grandpa Ohms, and Grandpa Ohms was, you know, the one grandparent that was kind of responsible for everybody else in that house. You know, if it wasn't for Grandma and Grandpa Ohms, none of us would be there. And it was weird to think like he had a completely different life. He lived a whole life before we were even here. He knew people that we never knew.
Isn't that crazy? Did you hear about him? Like, he used to drink. But Grandpa used to drink. Like, when they first started dating. Grandma was going to church, and Grandpa started going to church with her. And I guess she wanted him to stop drinking because he was drinking.
So he had a
little too
drinking
much.
problem.
I guess a little bit of a drinking problem, or I don't know. That wasn't clear. Like, I think she just didn't like it.
Okay.
I don't think because she didn't let him kiss. I think he ended up. I mean, he wasn't able to kiss her. I think when he drank. So
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that kind of turned him off. I was like, well, dang, if I can't even kiss my girl, why do I even want to drink?
It's like the
So I think
mustache
he
thing.
just
Shave your
stopped-
mustache
He
or I won't
stopped
kiss
doing.
you.
He just stopped doing it. But that was just crazy to think. Like, it was like never thought about Grandpa ever drinking. You know, it's kind of funny.
And I wish I knew more about him.
I know.
I really do.
He could have lived another 10 years and we would have not known too much more.
I know.
He really didn't talk too much.
He didn't. He was really
Every
quiet
once
guy.
in a while, it took a lot to get him to open up. I think probably the main way you can get to know Grandpa is talking to Grandma.
Yeah,
Grandma's
you're
the
about
one
right.
talker. She's the one big talker,
She is.
But still, yet I feel like with Grandma, like, we don't hear a lot of stories. I guess maybe we just don't ask the right questions too. I mean, like, yeah, it's neat. I love hearing like the stories. Like, my dad's a good person to tell the stories. Like, of like
Your dad is like the master storyteller.
Oh yeah,
Your dad and Poopa are the
Poopa's pretty good,
the
too,
1-2
yeah.
punch for
Yep.
storytelling.
Sure too. Oh yeah, especially when it's really good too. I loved because I never heard from Poopa like the other side of the story, like the same story.
But the other side.
Did we tell a story on here about like the polo story? Did we tell that on here
I
before?
don't think so.
Oh
I don't
my
think
gosh.
so. Tell it. Go for it. You
Should we
got it
tell
all?
that right now?
Go for it.
Okay. The most epic, I think. I don't know, my favorite story.
I don't know if I can choose a
you-
favorite, but go for it.
Oh, you have a more favorite story than that?
I don't think I have a favorite. I like them all. I
You
couldn't
like them
choose
all?
one,
You
yeah.
might even know, because, I mean, you might know probably more stories than me. But the one sticks out that my dad always would tell is when they were kids, and it was Halloween, and my dad was downstairs watching cartoons or something, and his brother Donnie was upstairs. They were all playing
Poopa. Poopa.
Which that's Poopa.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just call him Poopa. So Poopa's upstairs with his friends. Has all his friends over. They get all the polos and start polo fighting.
Yeah.
Some drunk guy starts driving down their road, which is a dead end street. Starts driving down, and he's swerving. They can tell he's drunk, and they were playing with all these polos. And they take one of the polos, or even maybe a couple of the polos, and throw it under this drunk guy's tire. And he runs over the polos. This drunk guy jumps out of his vehicle, and I hit him. I hit him. I hit him. I'm sorry, I hit him. And all the lights, because everybody had kids. That entire street, all the lights started coming up all the way down the street.
Yeah.
And of course, Poopa and all his friends, they were gone. And the next act, my dad remembers, like, he's downstairs minding his own business, watching cartoons, and all of a sudden, poof! Poopa and all his friends are just intently watching cartoons
They weren't
with
anywhere.
my dad. My grandma comes to the top of the stairs with one of the pillow in her hands. Who know? There was probably even tire tracks on the pillows. Who knows? And starts shaking the pillows. Daddy, these are our pillows. I know these are our pillows.
That's a pretty good grandma voice. I like that. That's pretty good.
Oh man, oh so good.
They got into a lot of shenanigans.
Oh my gosh,
They really did. They were bad kids. Well, at least Poopa was a bad kid.
Yeah, he pushing my dad down the stairs
Flight
in
of
the box.
stairs in a box.
Actually,
and then convinced him that he wanted to do it again afterwards. Like, that's
he
terrible.
must not have got hurt too bad the first time. Oh, that would be kind of fun if you could do it. If the box was long enough, you'd probably be okay.
It'd be fun, yeah. But
of course, the funny part is like you go down those stairs, like there's not much room. Like basically, there's a wall. Once you
yeah,
get
there's a
down,
wall at the
there's a
end,
wall
man.
there.
You're gonna fucking run into a cement wall.
Oh man.
They got some good stories.
Yes. Do you have a favorite one, or what's? See, that's the one main one I know, and then.
I don't have a favorite.
It was cool walking around. So now that house sold, but it was cool walking around with Poopa and your Uncle Scott. We were walking around that, and they had a big like pipe that they would literally walk when they were kids, like just go through this huge, gigantic. Like the thing had to been like a quarter of a mile long. Then they'd go through it as kids, and it would like basically come out on the other side of the street or whatever. Yeah. It's crazy, but.
Does it make you feel like you're not doing enough shenanigans?
No. Oh, man, I had a good time growing up. Growing up in a boys' homes with a bunch of other kids, like the only thing that sucked about that was there were so many kids that came and went in a short amount of time. I remember making a best friend, and he was only there a week. So my parents were house parents at a children's home, so like went from being me and my brother, just my parents, to being like us and like 10 other boys. And that they're all ages from like 12 to as old as 17. We had because there was even some high school kids in there. You know, that was the culture shock. I've been to other countries.
Right.
That was the culture shock in my life because
That
I
could
was
be
homeschooled.
Why you're such a people person? Why you're so you're really outgoing when it comes to meeting people.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And I think I struggle to keep long-term relationships because of that too. Because
That's a weird struggle.
I'm used to having people into my life for a short amount of time.
And gone. It's
kind of hard. I got to have somebody right there in front of me for me to keep that bond. I can't do long distance relationships. That doesn't work very, unless I have somebody in my life that makes an effort to be in my life.
Right.
Too.
At what point is it like, so people always say that. It's like, well, they're not making an effort to be in my life. Mm-hmm. So why should I make an effort to be in their life? But at what point?
It's a two-way street, though.
Yeah, but like at what point is it you're not making an effort, so that's why you don't have a relationship with this person? Like at what point is it your fault? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a good question.
That was a loaded question.
That's a loaded question. I don't know. Like, I think when you're not responding, so if somebody messages you or calls you and you don't respond, if you make the effort, yeah, but if you don't reciprocate, like, and just ignore or whatever, which of course, sometimes you miss, or forget, but I'd feel like, yeah, it's your fault, but I don't feel like a fault is too much, but like
maybe fault's not the right
changed,
word.
yeah, because that seems a little harsh. Because a lot of people can't even do the long distance thing, and it's hard to keep a relationship going long distance. I definitely wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a girl long distance.
No,
of course, if she was hot enough, I would probably do everything I can to make it work.
I guess I'm really bad at keeping in touch with people.
Like,
it's nothing personal against them. It's just I'm terrible at texting back.
Sure, Rihanna, we can make this long distance relationship work. We're gonna do everything we can.
I had one long distance relationship
stand under
one
your
time.
umbrella. What
is an hour considered long distance?
I would say, yeah, for me.
I had
not as bad. That's not too bad.
Someone that I was dating, we were an hour apart, and I only really saw them on the weekends.
I had a
That was
girlfriend was like
difficult.
45 minutes. That was back in the day when like we didn't really have cell phones.
Yeah.
So I was like paying a minute. I spent some money
she
talking
worth
to
it?
that girl.
Was she worth
She
it?
was cute. She
Was
was
she
cute.
worth it?
She ended up breaking up with me.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question.
Yeah.
Did she?
She's all right. I mean,
Did
nothing
she-
exciting happened.
Oh, nothing.
I was a
exciting.
good little boy back then.
No juicy details.
Gosh, I don't. We kissed and that's about it. I think. Yeah,
You pussy.
I know. I was a good little boy back
You
then.
were a good little boy. I was not a good boy.
I was just trying to get the herpes. That's all.
Jesus
lip
Christ,
herpes.
man.
I was just trying to get those lip herpes.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you ever get him?
No.
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 Me either.
Gosh, I'm surprised
Thank
I
God.
didn't. Yeah, knock on that wood.
Knock on that good wood because we got a new table, right?
Yeah, hey.
You like that fucking
Look
table?
at that shit. Look at that shit. That's not
Okay,
too wobbly.
but if you push any table, it's gonna move. All right,
Oh man.
it's gonna fucking move. Have you
On that note, this has been another podcast.
I was thinking of some. I was
Man.
thinking of what I was gonna say,
And
and then
there goes.
and then I
we
reserved
lose
it. I'm thinking
2 more people.
maybe I shouldn't say something about it.
Oh shit! Please do.
But-
anytime you have to think if you should say it or not, you definitely should say it.
No, I'm good.
That's
I'm
when
gonna,
we gotta
I'm gonna
whoa,
reserve that.
what was
I'm gonna
this?
reserve that.
What was it too bad? What do you mean? Say it now. Now you
No,
have to
I
say
was
it.
no. I was just gonna ask you. I was gonna talk to you about drugs.
Drugs.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation
I
before.
wanted to ask you about drugs. Have we had this conversation before?
Yeah.
What drugs
weed
have
and
you?
stuff?
Yeah, what drugs have you taken in
Weed.
through the veins or up the ass? How did you take in weed?
Yeah, it's definitely the only way you take it is up the ass, right?
Okay, that's what I thought. That's an instant injection.
Gosh, weed. You know,
So you've only smoked. Weed.
came from God's good green earth. You know, had some.
Do you
of that
believe
weed.
you believe that that God put weed on the planet for a reason?
Man, it definitely has helped a lot of people. I
Yeah.
mean, gosh, man, have you ever watched videos of people with Parkinson? Or
Oh
like,
yeah, with
take it. And
yeah
then
Parkinson's.
Just, my gosh,
I've seen videos of,
it's
of
sad
kids
that
with
we've-
seizures,
we've
like epileptic seizures.
condemned it, and we've had loss of. I think we've even talked about this. We've had loss of. We could have done so much research and know so much more about it. I mean, yeah, seizures. It's helped kids with seizures and stuff. Like, there's probably so many more medical uses for it, and but yeah, and I think just like anything, I mean, gosh, if you drink too much Coca-Cola, it's bad for you. I mean,
Yeah.
if you do too much, the thing is like, but you do the same amount of weed, it's not as bad as for your Coke. You're gonna get fat and die in your sleep or whatever. You know, you get too fat, you basically, literally, you. I mean, once
Yeah.
you get, as I spoke about obesity last,
That show my
you can
600
literally
pound life.
you can literally die in your sleep. You're at risk for dying in your freaking sleep. But yeah, so I mean, like with anything, I think it can be abused. Probably, you know. I mean,
Nobody's
definitely
di-
not.
nobody's died of smoking too
died
much
from weed.
marijuana.
Nobody's by, but yeah, I mean, I think there's issue where anybody can be addicted to anything, but I've definitely there. I mean, freaking, there's more things we have to worry about. Like, well, there is no. It's became demonized just because of the whole. I mean, part of the reason was the whole paper thing. I mean, weed and just grows like weed. We can use that for paper, and that was in
We can use weed for a lot
competition.
of
That was
stuff.
in competition back in the early 1900s. Was in competition for woods, and so they did a whole smear campaign on weed because it was in competition with trees.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you own all the trees, I mean, you don't want people growing up and making cheaper paper.
Right.
It's going to put you out of business.
Yeah, it'll put
So
you out
what
of
do you
business.
do? You do
It's a
whatever
pure
you can.
business tactic.
You do whatever you can to make that illegal. And there's even they did a whole smear campaign. You could even find the clips and stuff. There's a whole. I think there's a documentary on Netflix about it. But you like basically making it look like all these horrible people use it and
Smoke
stuff, and
marijuana,
like yeah, how bad it is for you or whatever. Just because they wanted to demonize it so that the price of paper, you know, paper we could be saving all these trees and be using weed for paper.
Right.
And here we're destroying our rainforest and all that.
That's terrible.
So just to line people's pockets, you know. It's crazy.
I just farted again. I'm sorry.
I didn't kind of communicate that well. So well, I mean, I don't know all the details super well, but it's really interesting thing. That would be interesting to talk to somebody, like get somebody on the show that knows a lot about history and stuff like that. That would be fun to talk to somebody.
We need to get Israel on here.
Israel's a pretty smart guy. Knows a lot of interesting stuff.
He's an interesting character.
Comes off, yeah. That would be fun.
I like him though. I think he's turning out. It's funny to watch him and Adam kind of grow up because they were much younger than me growing up, and I've kind of watched their different phases. And Israel's.
This is our cousins we're talking about.
Yeah, our cousins. Israel's growth has been interesting to see. He's
yeah, he cracks me up. He was texting me some funny stuff.
Yeah.
You're not. Because he always gets on to his dad for not knowing the password for the,
Yeah.
And then he texts me the password. It's like 976. Of course, who's gonna remember all those digits?
Right.
But he just said a couple funny things like, "I live to serve the Wi-Fi" or something like that. He's so funny.
He's an interesting guy. We've had a few different talks of. What are you doing over there?
I was gonna look at his text. I said thanks for giving me the password. And he says no problem. It was a non-profit. I live to serve the Wi-Fi. All good.
See, that's funny. That's funny shit. I like that kind of humor. Just the really quick wit, monotone. I like that shit. But we should definitely have him on here. I wanna pick his brain for a little bit because I know he's got some interesting stuff up there. Much more interesting than you and I. So.
Yeah. Well, there'd definitely be some looks like wide-eyed at each other throughout that interview. Probably.
The thing is, though, I know that he has experienced kind of the same things that I've experienced. So I would like to sit and kind of trade stories, as it were, about some of the different things because I know we've gone down kind of the same paths, and I've talked to him about it a couple times. Just
talking about weed.
I'm talking about more than marijuana, but yeah, like I know we've gone down, we've seen some similar paths.
Mushrooms.
We've opened up some similar doors, I would say. Probably passed through the
mushroom
same
door?
doors. Yeah.
The Oompa Loompa door.
Some LSD doors.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to him about it and see if he's open to talking about it.
Here you can hear some crazy, see some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I know you're kind of be sitting there. I have no idea what's happening right now.
Awkward.
You'll probably think we're
I'll just
crazy.
be over here sorting my cocaine.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. I have never done cocaine. I never will.
All right.
That's why I asked. I was curious to what you've done.
On that note, kids don't do drugs.
I don't like that. And here's why. I think things that are lumped together in this drug category is bullshit. I don't think marijuana is a drug.
No.
I don't think psilocybin mushrooms are a drug. LSD, maybe, is man-made. But both psilocybin mushrooms, marijuana, and even DMT, they're all natural chemicals.
DMT is not a bomb.
No. DMT is called dimethyltryptamine. These are all natural chemicals that are within our ecosystem. I don't think that's a drug. Cocaine, I know, is a plant, but I know there's been studies of what do they call them? They're mini. I don't want to say injections, but it's like mini microdosing of different drugs like psilocybin mushrooms, LSD, even heroin. I learned about this on a podcast recently. Even microdosing certain, I don't want to say types, but certain levels of heroin has been known to treat addiction. And I was like, that's fucking wild. Heroin treating addiction, but microdosing is a really effective way to get people off of addiction. And that's why I think we shouldn't lump together drugs with marijuana and psilocybin mushrooms and things like that. So I know when it comes to my children, my plan, I have a lot of plans for things, how I want to raise my children. I know one thing I'm not going to raise them is drugs are bad, don't do drugs. I'll never tell my son, don't do drugs. I want to equip him, the same thing with sex. I don't want to say, son, never have sex. You know, at 16 or at 15, I'm not going to be telling my son he doesn't need to be having sex. I want to be able to educate my children with the different types of substances. I want to educate them in sex. I know that they need to experience those things. And if I constantly try to tell them not to, it just creates an unneeded barrier between us.
Yeah, be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And,
I don't want this to be my goal, but I want my son to come up to me and say, Dad, this isn't my goal, but I want him to be able to say,
Daddy, where do penises go?
No. I want him to be able to come up to me and say, Dad, I hung out with my buddies over the weekend and we did mushrooms. And I want him to be open about that. I want to be like, so what happened? Like, I want that to be an open conversation. I don't want to ground my son for a year because I found out he did mushrooms, like, in high school. I don't want to do that shit. So, I don't know. That's why I think I did a lot of it. I experienced a lot of different things. I wanted to experience a lot of different things because I wanted to be able to have those conversations with my children.
well, they were saying that Dare was probably a complete waste
It
of
was
time.
a waste of
and,
time.
Because pushing kids like that, they're going to want to be more curious
Yeah.
about it.
That was one of the biggest
flops.
fails.
In fact, that's one of the things that the guy that does the show, oh my gosh, what's the name of him? They usually have a subject or whatever, and then
Adam knows everything.
Adam
ruins everything. That's right.
Adam ruins everything. He
Yeah.
does.
That's a good show.
Very good show. And in fact, I think he did have a podcast, or he might still have it. But yeah, he that's one of the things he covered. It was really interesting.
I like that show because they cite the sources as he's speaking them. It'll cite the year, the publication where it came from, and the actual text that he is speaking.
Yeah, there's
I love
so many
that.
things that we think we know the truth about. It's been told to us in one way. I mean, and that we completely are wrong about it. So now that I'm trying to think about it, I can't even think of any. But yeah, there's a bunch of things. It was interesting that they cover. But yeah. What's the first thing you do as a baby when your hand slapped and it said, "Don't do that"? You want to do it again?
Fucking do it again.
You
Yeah.
do it again.
Yeah.
You gotta
I don't
learn.
think that's not an effective way to raise anybody. I mean, what do I know? I've never raised a child, but it's just my thought. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm ready to get in a hot tub, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get over there,
about
sit, melt in a hot tub.
Full reels.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Seth, this has been good, man.
Yeah, good podcast, man.
Yeah.
We went from talk about animals to LSD. Interesting conversations.
I like it. That's the point, man. Just unscripted.
This has been another podcast. Tyler and Seth, unscripted banter.
You really fucking love to ruin shit, don't you?
I love it.
You just
Fucking
love to ruin
love
shit.
it.
Who do you want to
It
be our
was
next
wonderful.
guest? Let's call out our next guest right now. That way, the next podcast we have a guest. Because you're ordering the mic after we're done with this.
I think I did already order it.
Did you order it?
I think I already put buy. I wasn't because I would forget. Then we do this. We'll talk about getting something we need, and then we never get it. So I think I already made the purchase.
All right, so our next guest, we're going to commit right now. We're going to have Sierra on. That way we don't.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So,
yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll have the comic relief of Sierra.
Yeah.
Should
That'll be interesting.
Interesting. I think her
I'm excited
hair
to
color
hear.
of choice right now is pink.
I'm excited to hear you two riff off each other.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah.
Because
hopefully
I
we'll have to
really
be on
can't
our
wait
game.
for her to just shit on you the entire time. I won't have to do anything.
yeah.
I'm just going to
Oh,
sit back
yeah.
and kind of just watch. Can't wait. It'll be fun.
We'll be fighting for sure.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
We love you, fuckers. Have a great week.